Welcome to GOA365 English News Bulletin. I am Glenn and these are the headlines. As crimes have risen manifold in state, Kitla Kapa is plagued by thieves who are undeterred by CCTV cameras. In fact, they have even decamped with cameras in certain cases. Sonali Pogart case takes another convoluted twist. Normally associated with Curly's, in his bail plea claims he is not the owner and his wife files for anticipatory bail. Shoppers are out to buy Matoli items, but Asnora's youth still follow tradition. Go out into forest to collect wild fruits leaves as part of the Matoli. And now for the news in detail. The Sonali Pogart case saw some bail applications filed today. 2 days and a suspected drug dealer were arrested. Both have applied for bail. However, ironically, the man associated with Curly's in his bail plea claimed that he is not the owner of the famous restaurant. And now his wife has filed for anticipatory bail. The NDPS court, however, has pushed forward their hearing by 2 days.
Suspected drug dealer were arrested on August 27th in connection with Sonali Pogart's death. Both were booked under the NDPS Act. Following Pogart's death, her family had come out claiming that foul play was involved and demanded that police file an FIR. It was then during her autopsy that blunt force marks were discovered on her body, sparking the arrest of her 2 aides. 1 week on and a total of 4 people have been arrested in the case. Investigations continue. Sameep Narvekar for GOA365 from APSA.
The Goa State Legislative Assembly Secretary refused to provide information on a 2-day special training camp that was held for newly elected MLAs as requested by Advocate Iris Rodriguez. The reason given was that it would be against the state constitution to disclose the work of the Secretariat.
On June 27 and 28, a 2-day special training camp was held for the newly elected MLAs. Advocate Iris had asked for the details and expenditure under the authority of the RTI. However, the Legislative Assembly Secretary refused to provide information, saying it does not fit into the RTI Act. Iris told GOA365 that he will appeal to the State Information Commission.
We have said that it is exempt under Section 8(1)(c) of the RTI Act, read with the Rule of 37, Clause 16. So I have followed all the constitutional provisions as well as the rules of procedure of the Goa Legislative Assembly. Then later on, Advocate Rodriguez came in first appeal before me, since I am the first appellate authority. And there today I passed an order dismissing his appeal. I have followed all the constitutional provisions as well as the Goa Legislative Assembly rules.
Because similar information sought by me regarding the training session held for MLAs in 2012, the complete information was furnished to me in 2012.
The RTI Act was originally enacted to bring transparency in the government apparatus, but it is surprising why the Secretary of State of Goa refused to provide the information he had requested in his RTI. Advocate Iris Rodriguez told media.
She has passed an order dismissing the appeal filed by me, and in her order she has noted that giving the information to me would be interfering in the working of the House. She has, in her order, admitted that the rules of business of the Legislative Assembly, as stated by me in my appeal, have never been notified. At least she has agreed to that. Now, in which way would I be pressurizing the Speaker or interfering with the functioning of the House? This is a finding which she has come to. Is very strange, because the RTI Act was enacted for transparency in governance, so that there is transparency and we come to know everything that the government or government institutions do. So the Goa Legislative Assembly, Goa Legislature Secretariat comes within the purview of the RTI Act. There is a PIO appointed, there is a first appellate authority appointed. So this whole thing is to deny information which is not permissible in terms of the RTI Act. So now against this order, I would prefer an appeal immediately before the State Information Commission and let the State Information Commission decide.
In 2012, he similarly asked for information on the work of the Secretariat and it was given. But now, the Secretary is reluctant to provide information, he said. Listen to Legislative Assembly Secretary Namrata Ulman's response to the allegation.
All that I had asked was information on the 2-day training session held for MLAs in the month of June this year. And I had also asked for total expenditure incurred on that event. So this is information which is available, and by no stretch of imagination would it be breach of the privilege of the House. She in her order today states that furnishing this information would be breach of the House, but she doesn't say how.
तेन्ना कितें जालें आतां there is a breach of privilege. That is why I have followed the constitution and I have taken this decision.
Vincent Rosario for GOA365 from Porvorim.
We will take a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. As crimes have risen manifold in Goa, Kitla, a small village in Kepen, is plagued by thieves who have even worked around fully equipped surveillance systems. Despite steps to curb the crime, thieves have been getting away with major break-ins. Bolder criminals have even decamped with CCTV systems in some cases. Watch GOA365 special report.
आज आमच्या फाटल्यान तुम्ही पळयतात हो जो गांव आसा हो किटल हो गांव आसा आनी हो फातर्पा पंचायतीच्या ज्युडिडिक्शना येता. हो एक जो वॉर्ड आसा हो वॉर्ड कंप्लीट जो आसा हो ह्या किटला ह्या गांवाक आसा. ह्या किटला ह्या गांवाक जायत्यो बारीक सारीक चोरी जाले कडेन आसा आनी मोठ्यो जाल्यात त्यो म्हणल्यार देवूळ जे किटनगांनीचे देवूळ आसा हे वर्सा एक फाट चोरले आसातच. कितले तेणी सीसीटीव्ही बसयले पूण सीसीटीव्ही चोरून गेले. गांवांत जितले लोक आसात हेंचे जे उदक तापोवपाचे भाणं म्हणात या तोप म्हणा हे भायर उरतात आनीक हे तोप जे आसात हे भायर उज्याचेर ते उदक तापयतात. हो बारीक गांव असले कारणान हांगा तेंचे सदांचे काम हेच आसा आनीक खंय तरी चोरांनी हांगा भाणां तोप मोडक्यो पिकास खोरीं कोयत्यो ह्यो चोरपाचे हांगा चोरी चालू आसा. पयर एक चोराक धरून तेणी पुलीस स्टेशनार दिल्लो असो चोरपा आयले कडेन पूण तेजेर कितें जालें म्हणटा आजुनी कांय खबर ना. आज तेणी बरें काम केले कडेन आसा की रोडा सायडीच्यान जितलीं झाडां वाडले कडेन आसात तितलीं झाडां कापपाचें काम केले कडेन आसा. तेणी पयलींच सांगलें जेन्ना पंचायतीच्या इलेक्शनाक जो पंच मेंबर उबो रावल्ले ताका तेणी सांगलें की आमकां हें काम करून दी म्हणून. कित्याक रस्त्याच्यान सायडीच्यान जर कोणी गोरू सुद्दां उडी मारून येयली या जनावर उडी मारून येयले ते कांय कळना आनीक ते कारण जाता की एक्सिडेंट जावपाक. म्हणून आज ह्या पंच आमचो स्थानीक जे पंच मेंबर आसा तेणी हें काम स्टार्ट केले कडेन आसा.
आमी आमगे पंच मनीषा ह्या इलेक्शनाक रावचे पयलीं ताका सांगलें आमी की निवडून येतकीर पयलीं आमची ही कामां करपा जाय म्हणून. एक पयलीं काम करपाचें रिजन म्हटल्यार पयलीं म्हटल्यार चोरी ही दिसान दीस वाडत आसा. आतां आमच्या गांवांत असो धुमाकूळ घातलेलो फाटल्या दिसांनी की चोरी कोण कोणा तोप व्हरता कोण कितें भायर ते मुडकी म्हणटू पिकास भाणां सगळें वयल्ले आसा. म्हणून आमी ताका रिक्वेस्ट केलो आनी तेणी आमकां पयलीं सांगलें येतकीर आपण तुमची कामां पयलीं करतली म्हणून. म्हणटकीर आमी कालच्यान आमी पयलीं म्हणल्यार आमी ज्या देवळा कडच्यान आमी स्टार्ट केल्लें आसा काम आनी हे सगळें तुमी पळोवंक शकता सगळें चकाचक केल्लें आसा.
सो देवळां चोरी जाल्ली
हय देवळां चालू आसा कितें ना कितें कोण ना कोण येता दार जोडायता आनी कितें कितें करता आनी फाटीं आमी कॅमेरा सुद्दां बसयल्ले ते सुद्दां तेन्ना चोरूंक वयले लास्ट फावटी चोरी जाल्ली तेन्ना
कॅमेरा सुद्दां चोरून येयले
म्हणटा तशें आमगे कांय ना. पयलीं रातची पेट्रोलिंगा येता प्रॉब्लेम कितें जाता गाडी येता ती पळोवन चोर कोण येयल्ले उरता चोरूंक ते सुद्दां सायडीर रावता. गाडी गेले की ते परत आपलें काम परत करता चोरपाचें.
आनी लोक पडटा म्हण आयकल्या हांगा
हो खूप ऍक्सिडेंट जाता. गोरू सगळी आसा ती रस्त्यार आमची जंक्शनाचेर बसून उरता. पण आमी पंचांक सांगले आसा तेजे कितें उपाय करपा खातीर. आतां आमी आनी एक नेक्स्ट 7-8 दिसांनी आमी तेमकां ते रेडियम बेल्ट ते घालतले आमी.
आमी अशें केलां की हांगा चोरी खूप जाल्यात तुमच्या गांवांत.
हय जाता, खूप जाता. कोण चोर येता, रातचे कोणाक दार धाडा येता, कोण खिळयो वाजयता. एक दिसा भुरग्यान आमगे सगळ्यान धरून एक चोरा धरलो, त्या धरला तेजे फुडें कितें कारवाय जाली ती आमकां खबर ना.
सो
चोर हेमी भुरग्यांनी धरलो सगळं हे कडेन जावन ताका धरलो आनी पुलिसी सुवातीन केलो. पुलिसीन कितें कारवाय केला ती आमकां खबर ना.
आज जे निवळ करता ते कित्याक बरें पडटा तुमकां?
आतां हें निवळ करपाचें म्हणल्यार कोण एक जनावर येता वायट, जुवाण येता, त्याच्यावर वागटाय आसा हिंगा, वागटाय येता, ती येता आनी भुरग्यांक बद्दल तेजे बद्दल खूप भीती आसा. आनी ह्या पळय हे गटार पळय आसा वयर उठे डोंगराचें सगळें उदक, हे गटार एकूय ना, सगळी गटार पुरवला. आनी तेन्ना ती गटार ओपन करून ते गटारां सोडचे. आनी त्या गटारां 2-3 कडेन मुशी आसा, मुशी ती मूस एकूय ओपन ना, सामकें बंद जाला, पॅक जाला. आनी ते कोणी इतल्या वर्सांनी म्हाका दिसता कोणी वासूसय केलें ना. आनी ती पळयली ना तेन्ना त्यो मुशी ओपन करच्यो आनी हे गटारांतले बांदून गटारांतले उदक सगळें त्या मुशीन सोडचें आनी ना सकल कोणाक व्हाळा सोडचें.
ज्या प्रमाणे आम्ही लोकांक सांगिल्लें की आमी रस्ते क्लीन करतली म्हणून, त्या प्रमाणे आमी हें काम चालू केल्लें आसा. ह्या गांवांत खूब चोरी जाल्यो आनी लोकांनी आमकां सांगलें की रस्त्यार खंय तरी लोकांक चोरां लिपपा मेळटा म्हणून. त्या खातीर आमी पयलीं काम रस्तो क्लीन करपाचो घेतलो, स्ट्रीट लायट घालपाचें घेतला. आनी चतुर्थी पयलीं जी कामां कंप्लीट करपाची आसा ती आमी करतली आनी उरली कामां आमी आफ्टर चतुर्थी करतली.
आनी कितें काम आसा अशें लोकांनी सांगलें कितें काम आसा?
ड्रेनेज, रोड्स, लोक जे जे कामां आमकां सांगतली ती सगळी आमी कंप्लीट करतली.
ओके. म्हण ह्या गांवांत चोरी चड जाल्यात?
चोरी जाल्यात, खूब जाला हांगा.
म्हणजे हेजेर तूं आतां पुलिसाय बी कितें इंडिपेंशन दितलें की मातशी इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन कर म्हणून? गोवा 365 खातीर इतला साकून रमेश नायक रावत.
Chairmen, councillors and engineers of the Marmangoa Municipal Council inspected the Baina fish market and the Baina beach on Monday. During this inspection, it was noticed that fish vendors sitting outside the market caused problems for fishermen sitting in the market. Chairman Leo Rodriguez spoke on the issue. Watch.
Those who used to sell fish in the market are now selling their wares outside. This is an injustice to vendors sitting inside the market premises, local fishermen claim. Leo has issued a warning to those selling wares outside the market. The Baina fish market is in pathetic condition, which has directly affected business of fish vendors. The councillors also visited the Ganpati Visarjan site at Baina beach.
कंडिशन बेड हो पयलो रिपेर करपाचो आसा कित्याक कंडिशन पदरी पदरी गेलेले तो पेंटींग करपाचें आनी आमचे म्युनिसिपालिटीन आहा जे आहा अंडर कन्स्ट्रक्शनाक वचून आहा तो पूण फाटल्यान एक जागा ताका लागून तो उरता 140 जागो तो आमचो जागो एक्वायर करपाचो ताका लागून तो उरता ताका लागून पयलीं आमी आमच्या इंजिनियराक उलयलो एमीक उलयलो ताणें सांगून दिला ताणें सांगता की समज ते बेगीन जाय जाल्यार आमी ताका रिपेर करचो एक 5 लाखाचें कितें एस्टिमेट जातलो म्हणटा तो रिपेर करून घेवचो आनी तो हे बायना फिश मार्केट आमी लोकांक दिवचो रिपेर करून तशें हांव बायणेकारांक सांगता की ते मार्केटान येवचें आनी नुस्तेकारांक गिरायक घालचें ही आतां सद्या पयलीं 15-20 जाण आसतालीं भोंवतणी हांव चयतालो पयलो आतां 4 जाण आहाय तेंचो डिमांड कितें भायर कोण घेता नुस्तें तांकां वॉर्निंग दिवपाचें आनी भितर हाडपाचें भितर येयना जाल्यार तांकां मागीर तांकां पयलीं वॉर्निंग दितलें आमी समज भितर येना जाल्यार तेजें नुस्तें उखलून हाडटलें आमी तांकां हांव एक स्ट्रिक्टली वॉर्निंग दिता ते कोण भायर कोण नुस्तें घेता आमच्या बायणा हे यूथ बायना यूथ रिक्रेशन सेंटर क्लबा कडेन थिंगा ते इंगता जंक्शनाचेर तांकां एक सांगूं सोदता की तुमी येयाय भितर आनी ही मार्केट फायल रिपेर जाल्यार ती मागीर परती रिपेंड जातली की आमकां मार्केट रिपेंड मार्केटान हाडूना म्हणून आमी रिपेर करतून मागीर तांकां चान्स दिवपाना कित्याक एक फावट भायर मागीर तांकां बसपाकूय भायर दिवपाना.
हांगा ह्या वाठारांत बायणा एरियेन म्हणटा ते सड्या भागांतले आनी बायणा भागांतले सगळे जे आमचे हिंदू भाव आसा जे गणपती पुजता तेंचें विसर्जन हांगा जाता आनी हें विसर्जन करतना भावीक खूब जाण येतात आनी तेन्ना हांगा एक मेस आसता सो ताका लागून आमी हांगा इन्स्पेक्शन केलेलें इलेक्ट्रिसिटी डिपार्टमेंट आमच्या म्युनिसिपालिटी सगळे इंजिनियर्स आमचे कडेन आसा हांगा फोकस जे आसा लायट खंय पळोवपाक लायट बसोवपाचो आमी हांगा प्रयास केलेलो आसा आनी फूल एरिया जी आहा ती क्लीन करपाची हांगा गॅमन इंडियन हांगा घाण करून दवरलेली आसा तेंच्यांनी सुद्दां सांगलां की तेंची एरिया आमी क्लीन करून दिता म्हणून सो हे ती पयली जावपाची गरज आसा आनी ती खरोखरच आमच्या चेअरपर्सन आमच्या कावन्सिलान बरी इनिशिएटीव घेतलेली आसा ही सगळी आमची साफ सफाई जाता इतलेंच न्हू जाल्यार हांगा आमी ज्या गणपतीची फुलां जी असता जे हार ते घालता ती हांगा बेश्टीत खंयचे थंय पळयत आसतले खंयचे बेश्टीत उडयतात ते तेका लागून आमी एक प्रोविजन हांगा केल्लेलें आसा की हांगा तेंचे एक हार उडोवपाची एक बंद करपाची थारायल्लें
आता 31 आमची गणेश चतुर्थी आहे म्हणून आम्ही मुखेल डिसिजन घेतलं की आम्ही जे विसर्जन जे स्पॉट आसा जसो बायणा बीच खाडावडे बीच वाडेम लेक ते आमी क्लीन करपाचें आमी प्लॅन केला तशेंच हो बायणा बीच जो आहा तो मेन स्पॉट आसा हो आख्खे मडमुगाचे जे लोक आसा पब्लीक ती आमचे सगळे हांगा येता म्हणल्यार सडा वयले वास्कोचे बायण्याचे मांगरातले सगळे गणपती हांगा येतात सो आमी आयज हांगा येयला आनी आमी हांगा जितले जे गार्बेज आसलो प्लास्टीक आनी पेपर कितें आसलें ते आमी क्लीन केल्ले आसा तशेंच हांगा जे वाटेर जे गणपती येता तो सड्यावयलो गणपती सगळ्यांत व्हडलो आसा सो ते झाडांय बी लागच्यो न्हू म्हणून आमी आयज ट्री कटींग सुद्दां केल्ल्या
Hiru Mahale for GOA365 from Vasco.
With just 2 days left for Choth, markets are overflowing with shoppers out to buy Matoli items. While ready-made items are commonly used nowadays, Asnora's youth are still going into the forest to collect wild fruits and leaves. Watch.
ते मार्केटान उपलब्ध असतात पूण तेंचे रेटी बिटी आमकां येना तेका लागून आमचे एक खेड्या गांवांची एक प्रथा जी आमी आतां रानान आमकां एक सामान मेळटा सगळें ते आमी रानांतल्यान सगळे जाण हाडून हें करता कित्याक ती मजा एक वेगळी आसा हे टायमार हें करपाची सामान आनी बरें आहा हें
आयज आमी हांगासर पोरू येयल्ले तशेंच ह्या वर्सा आतां आमचे सगळे मित्र आहे आमचे नानोडचे सगळे मित्र सूरज विकास तशेंच अमित हे बाकीचे सगळे येयल्ले आसा ते पोरू जशें आमी सामान हाडूंक येयल्ले तशेंच अंदूय येयल्ले आसा तेन्ना आमकां हांगासर कांगल्यो शेरवाडे कवनाळा तशेंच माट्टुला आनी खूब आनी वेगवेगळे सामान आमकां मेळ्ळें हरण बी तशें खूब मेळ्ळें आनी हे सामान म्हणजे अशें की जंगलान आहा ते काडूंक एक तरेची उमेद येता आमकां की सगळे मेळोन एक अशें ते पारंपारीक हे आमी अशें चालू ठेवपाक जाय कारण हे रानांतले सामान आमकां हे मेळटा म्हणजे अशें तयार जाता ते आनी तेतून जर हेतून खूब फरक आसता की बाजारान वचून विकत हाडप त्या पेक्षा जर अशें मेळोन एक सगळ्यांचे हेतून उत्सव निर्माण जाता आनी बऱ्या पैकी आमकां एक हें मेळटा हितून हें करपाक.
We will take a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. The annual general body meeting of the Industrial Development Corporation was held today, wherein key points were taken up, which include recovery of dues from the government staff who were allotted IDC plots, improving infrastructure in IDC estates, and getting a coal block for the state.
While government staff were allotted plots, the IDC were not getting revenue from them. Now, care will be taken that IDC recovers all its dues, including the interest. The land will remain with the staff. IDC Chairman Alexio Reginald said.
The plots which were given for employees also, even that we have taken up. Government has given already approval for clearing those files. But revenue to the IDC is the utmost. Care will be taken to see that what is due to the corporation, there is no compromise, including interest and including penalties and sogle. No, those plots were already tendered and given to them before. It was a process which was, given to them and then held back. So government has given approval. Even we are taking case by case basis. We are not clearing everybody together at one go.
There is no coal block for Goa. IDC will put the proposal before the centre asking for the block should the government give the go-ahead. The block would be traded with power companies and not industries, Reginald said.
Coal block as a issue, coal block, it was, I forgot to mention. Coal block as a issue, coal we have whatever coal was allotted for Goa, we don't have it anymore. It's gone. Madhya Pradesh allotment also is lost. I mean, we don't have it. Now we have a proposal where we are putting it to the government, where if government approval is there, we will tell you that too for trading. But then we can't discuss anything because modalities, because we have got no mandate. That's what. So we can't discuss now because we have no mandate. If government gives us approval, then we will tell you.
Reginald also announced to open bids of around 3 industrial plots at Verna IDC through e-tender and e-auction.
We have in fact started round 3. We have in fact, we want to tell you that we have quite a high number of people applying for it, or rather we come to know how many people are trying to get to the website. So we have seen that there are almost 15-20 applications that are coming for the plots. आमी गोंयकारांक पासून जावं सगळ्यांक आमी हें करपाक सोदताय, एकोमोडेट करूंक सोदताय. Please feel free. It is going to be transparent. You quote, you see that you all apply.
Reginald said that infrastructure in the IDC estates would be improved through central scheme Ghati Shakti.
Latambar Singh, then Verna, concentrating on 2 IDCs estates like Verna and Latambar Singh. There are more takers for both. Infrastructure, roads, raw water, purified water, as well as internet and all those facilities. And more so connectivity. Roads works will be tendered, and whatever we can get help from the central government on Gati Shakti.
Shamchari for GOA365 from Banjam.
Now for the weather. The Met Department has forecast isolated thunder showers over the state for the next 4 days. Strong winds are expected to accompany rains during this period. After the first, however, there are no weather warnings. Here's more.
Despite stormy weather conditions onshore, there are no offshore warnings for boat owners along the Goa-Maharashtra coast during the period. No high wave warnings have been sent out either. While the next few days are expected to be wetter, temperatures will hover in the 30 degrees Celsius range. Maximum and minimum temperatures on Tuesday have been forecast as 32 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees Celsius respectively. Thunderstorms forecast until 1st. Strong winds to accompany rain over the next 4 days. Maximum and minimum temperatures on Tuesday 32 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees Celsius respectively. No warnings sent out for boat owners. No high wave warnings issued. Bureau Report GOA365 with inputs from IMD.
With that, we have come to the end of this news bulletin. For more news and updates, log on to our website www.goa365.tv. Take care, stay safe, and keep watching GOA365.